I don't think there's any serious United Kingdom politician, not a serious politician, even in the unionist parties, who would deny people in Scotland the right to vote for independence if they so chose. Now, what they do try to deny at the present moment is not accepting the result. They try to stop the referendum taking place. But that is something politically that we'll sort out in Scotland. The referendum will be controlled and run by the Scots Parliament, as it should be. And if the people vote for independence, then I don't think any UK politician or party is going to attempt to gainsay the process. People respect the right of the Scottish people to decide. I mean, I can't speak for Catalonia and Spain. All I could do is speak about Scotland. But I think it's clearly established by all serious commentators that if Scotland votes for independence in a referendum, then independence is what we will get, and that's generally accepted. That doesn't mean that people are in favour of it. Of course, the UK parties will argue strenuously against it and all the rest of it. And I think as Scotland independent, then relationships would improve even further, because such as what often surrounds antipathy between Scotland and England is people in England being told that the Scots are feather-bedded or subsidised, and people in Scotland believing that the London government is managing to filch away all the oil revenues and is plotting all sorts of desperate things. Now, between these two views, there is always the basis of antagonism within the current structure. If Scotland was raising its own revenue and control of its own spending, and England was doing the same, England raising its own revenue, then nobody could complain anymore. It would be a much better, more grown-up relationship. There was a very wise Scot who was on the European Court of Justice a few years ago, called Lord Mackenzie Stewart, senior judge in the European Court of Justice. And when he retired from the Court of Justice, he was asked to adjudicate on this very point. Now, it should be said he was somebody who did not support Scottish independence. But in his adjudication on this matter, what he said was, look, whatever the case here, what you have to consider is the cases of Scotland and the rest of the United Kingdom will be identical, because they'll be in the same legal status with regard to themselves and to the rest of Europe. So the idea of the UK blocking Scotland is nonsensical, because equally Scotland could block the UK. Actually, neither could block each other. But the cases would be absolutely identical. And the reason for that is the origins of the Treaty of Union between Scotland and England, which was an international treaty. It was not a result of conquest or incorporation or assimilation. It was an international treaty between organisations. So if you dissolve that treaty, as you would have to do for Scotland to be independent, then both parties have the same rights with regard to each other and with all other international bodies as the previous state. Even more fundamental in Scotland than, for example, would be in a consultative referendum elsewhere. So that is the position and the process. Let's look at some of the arguments that are being deployed in the national conversation or Finland or Austria or any other small European nations. And to enable us to get from where we are to where we want to go, we are undertaking a process, a national conversation. The Parliament